I walk into the mosque again, and I hear the voices of my brethren echoing through the space. I enter the prayer room, and I pause for a moment. Looking towards the rugs and then to the ceiling, I notice the contrast between the two brightly colored pieces in the space. The rest of the room was really only neutral colors, and yet a bright blue and orange, that was a big emphasis point to me. Looking closer at the rug, I turn my attention also towards the windows at the far side of the room. They have the same pattern. The windows, granted, had a much smaller scale, but each was in perfect proportion with the next, one shape after the other. I had never thought of any of these things so deeply. I think I could spend hours thinking more intensely about this room alone. As I start to walk into the room, my mind focused on Allah. I then started to think, how did I focus on Allah so fast? I'm usually a sporadic thinker, and yet entering this space, I felt an immediate connection to my religion. I realized as I thought deeper that every element within the space related back to my religion. The bright orange within the ceiling pulls my mind towards the sky, towards Allah. The bright blue of the patterned rug faces a cultural significance and draws my mind to think about my actions of how I pray, what I'm doing as I worship, my cleanliness as I pray. The patterned windows emphasize the front wall facing Mecca, another important religious connection. The elements work together to relay cultural significance through patterns and colors, tying them together at different scales. As I went to sit down on my mat, I felt the soft texture of the textile. This serves me for comfort as I pray for hours. I look around at the hard tiles of the ceiling and floor and how they work to build up my religious mindset. The glass and the steel within the window create a translucent window to the outside, allowing Allah's light to flood the space. Each material builds on the last to give me the tactile sense of relationship with my God. After praying for some time, I left the prayer area, wandering through the rest of the mosque. I came across a mostly blank space with a large archway leading to the outdoor corridors of the mosque. The space generally follows the same motif as the prayer room: orange ceiling tile, white plaster walls, and yet the accent of the space was a black wall surrounding the archway. This archway brings in most of the light within the space. There are small pendant lights that bring some of the form of artificial lighting, but as I thought more deeply about it, I realized that the natural light being the primary lighting was a way of inviting Allah to be the most present form of light in our walk within the space, to be consumed by His presence, not just to feel it in a sense. The black wall emphasizing the natural light was yet another way to tie my mind to my religion. I wandered out of the room into the library sector of the mosque, taking in the fullness of the design. How had I not understood the depth of it before? How have I not meditated on the religious implications of the building that I so often worship in? I see the way that people of all ages surround themselves with the same books with each other as they read and take in what the world has to give. I have felt so immersed in my religion within this mosque, so close to Allah. Now, coming to this portion of the space, I feel so immersed in my culture, in my community. I sat between two bookshelves with a few other people from the village as we conversed lightly about the pages of a book. I never knew their names before. This community-based design gave me the opportunity to build relationships I would have never thought possible. The way we sat, the way we learned, the community built. It was all intentionally designed for my experience. This space was made for us. It fits my needs and others, as it has many bookshelves that create various subset spaces. The ample seating includes nooks and open spaces, which go along with bookshelves making spaces. It allows me to have the choice to sit wherever I want, being comfortable within the space to learn and to commune with others. It is also sustainable in that it uses local materials from our community to build and remodel it. It uses CEBs to create natural ventilation during our hot months, and it also has drip irrigation for a water reserve. The technology of the compressed earth bricks gives multiple functions to our space by creating a natural balance of insulation. It derives from the ground of my community, making me feel even closer to the space while cutting out the need for the alternative cooling during the hot months. Drip irrigation also cuts out the need for alternative sources, allowing for the retainment of what little water we get to be used for the function of the space. Before leaving the mosque, I take just one more look around the area, seeing the stained wood, the orange and white painted drywall, and the patterned woods. Walking towards the walkway out of the complex, I notice that the metal is shaped in a geometric pattern with a rough, unpolished finish. The compressed earth bricks are finished with an exterior clay plaster that smooths the surface of the bricks, allowing them to have a smooth spackle facade while creating a strong structure. I walk out of the complex and go home for food, fulfilled in knowing that Allah makes perfect everything He touches.